Greetings, BlazeLeeDragon here, and today's video is of course going to talk about a topic that everybody just loves to hear about, and talk about, and throw in their 2 cents about. Today's topic has to do with witches, and specifically it has to do with why I think it's stupid to call yourself a witch. The reason I say this is for a few reasons, and of course people who are watching this, many of you may refer to yourself as a witch, which is perfectly fine. Technically, you can call yourself whatever you want to. However, calling yourself exactly what you want to and being it is 2 different stories. Now, here's where a lot of people are probably going to get offended, and they're going to get defensive. So, let's take a look, first of all, why you call yourself a witch. And if you don't, if you know somebody who calls themselves a witch, and why do they call themselves a witch? So, if you think about it, what is a witch? I mean, let's honestly think about that for a minute. Do you have an explanation, a definition, what you think a witch is? Then let's also go about why do you call yourself one? What makes you decide that you want to? And then let's look at what makes you think you have the right to call yourself a witch. Then let's of course bar the obvious that you have the right to call yourself whatever you want to. A lot of people are calling themselves a witch without understanding what a witch is, without any sort of training, without any sort of direction. They're picking up a book and they're saying they're a witch. That's the point behind this video. When I say I think it's kind of stupid to call yourself a witch, I mean for the individuals who just pick up a book and say they're a witch. To me, in my eyes, in my opinion, that's as stupid as picking up a book on martial arts and saying you're a ninja. Seems kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? It's about the same. Can you learn from books? Absolutely. Can you call yourself a witch anyway because you feel like it? Absolutely. But traditionally what a witch is, among other magical practitioners and different types of traditions, I'm of course choosing witch just because it's so popular and hearing so many people call themselves a witch lately. Reading a book and getting some information is just the tip of the iceberg. It's good for reference, it's good for expanding your knowledge, and it's good for getting you along the path that you want to follow. But if you really want to become a witch, you should find yourself an actual witch to learn from. Same thing applies to being a ninja. You can't just pick up a book on martial arts, even if it's about ninjutsu. Which, by the way, ninjutsu isn't exactly what the ninjas practiced a long time ago. That's just what we called it today, but I don't want to get too far off topic. My main point is that just picking up that book on ninjutsu and trying to study it and practice it, sure, you might pick up a few moves. That doesn't make you a ninja, even if you're influenced and inspired by a ninja. And by the way, ninja is not an accurate term. It's actually shinobi, or at least for the men it is. Can't remember how to pronounce the female version of shinobi. Point being is in Japan, they were called shinobi. Ninja is what we know them as here in America. So, when we're talking about witches and witchcraft and covens, and different groups and practices, the point is you learn a tradition and a style, just like all the different martial arts styles out there. Each teacher teaches taekwondo or ninjutsu slightly different than the next. Same thing's going to happen for witches and witches' covens. Usually they keep it within the family. Usually it's passed down by bloodline, mother to daughter, father to son, etc. Or vice versa, father to daughter or mother to son. Either way, usually it's a trained tradition within the family and bloodlines. I've mentioned this in other videos, I'm just mentioning it again. I also just want to point out that, yes, you can call yourself whatever you want. I have saying this many times because a lot of you are going to get aggressive. Some of you are going to get offended. Other ones are not going to give a shite. And some of you might even get a kick out of the video and feel like you've learned something from it, which is the point. I just want to put it out there that being a witch is technically a trained tradition. It's something that is very similar to being a druid, or Catholic priest. See, with witches and witchcraft, there's not really a bystander that just follows the path. That's just a person. Someone who practices witchcraft is equivalent to a priest in another religion or practice or spirituality, because witchcraft itself is not really a religion. Yeah, you can include religious practice with it, and many do, but you can also just be a witch and just practice the magic of witchcraft without actually doing the religion part. So I just want to put that out there on the table for you and have hopefully a lot of you realize that once again with the main theme of my channel and many of the videos that I make, that you don't have to follow one tradition. Make your own mind. If you're listening to a book, more power to you. You can learn a lot from a book. But if you're going to claim something, at least go out there and do some research. Now, the other flip side of that, and the other part of witchcraft, is back in ancient times, witch was a very generic term for anyone who had magical powers. Not yet! And give me a minute, I'm doing a video! Sorry. So, basically, when you're talking about witchcraft and being called a witch, it was a very generic, broad term that was used also for anybody who had any sort of folk magic. So technically speaking, a lot of people could call themselves a witch. So, it just depends on your definition of what a witch is, and that's why I asked those questions in the beginning, so you could consider it and put it in perspective. Now, of course, with all the volume and talking going on in the background, I guess I'm going to end the video here, maybe expand upon it later. Interested in comments, video responses? Like I said, these are my thoughts, my research, my opinions. Doesn't make them right or accurate, and that's the thing you got to remember. Whether it's book, video, TV, or talking to another person, it's just all word of mouth. It's all what you learn. It's all what you perceive it to be. It's your insights and your in-depth interactions with the world. So don't take anybody's word for it, not even mine. I just wanted to share and express my personal thoughts on it and why I feel like it's stupid to be called a witch without actually being trained as a witch. I thought my dogs were barking again. I'm going to have to take them out here in a few. So anyway, this is BlazeLeeDragon, wishing you bright blessings and many fruitful journeys on whatever it is you decide to research and search and look into and all that good stuff.